Well, this video needs no introduction. For over 10 years at this point, people who make Pokemon videos on YouTube have made videos talking about what new megas they want to be added in the game. If you've watched my main channel videos, you know that I have some issues with the Mega Evolution mechanic in general and how it's implemented into the game. But I can't deny that on the surface level, Mega Evolution is cool, and it's fun to speculate about what new megas could be, especially with Legend ZA releasing this year. So I'm gonna throw my hat into the ring and present 10 new megas, one from each generation, with the exception of one generation where I'll give a duo megas. I'm going to try and give them to underappreciated or overlooked Pokemon. This is where Mega Evolution truly shines in my eyes after all. Stuff like Mega Mawile is cool, while Mega Lucario just makes me roll my eyes. These aren't what I think will be the most likely to get megas, but just some Pokemon on my wish list to get megas. And I'll try to feature picks that aren't too common on these sorts of lists. Like, if you're worried that I'm going to rant about Mega Flygon for 5 minutes, don't worry, Flygon's not on this list. I'll also describe where the plus 100 base stat total will be distributed, alongside any new typings and abilities the Mega gets. I'll also mention any new moves the Pokemon can get to work with the Mega. But other than that, I won't be changing the original Pokemon at all. With that being said, let's get into the list of my picks for new Mega Evolutions I'd like to see in Pokemon Legend ZA. Parasect. Parasect is by far the worst Gen 1 bug type, and may honestly take the prize for the worst fully evolved bug type. It's a shame because its concept is very cool. It's based on the real-world Cordyceps fungus, which attaches itself to bugs and kills them, then controlling the bug's body to try and spread the fungus to other bugs. It's such an out there and wild concept for a Pokemon, especially back in Gen 1, when most other Pokemon were just basic animals or monsters. So to give it some love that it probably never received outside the drawing board, we can evolve it into Mega Parasect. Mega Parasect is a Grass Ghost type, which I know is an overused type, but lore-wise it makes sense, while Bug Ghost doesn't, since the fungus is alive and the bug is dead, meaning the bug became the ghost, hence the typing. For its stats, we'll give it a plus 30 in defense, plus 30 in special defense, and plus 40 in attack, allowing it to become a somewhat bulky, good physical attacker. For its ability, I decided to give it Mycelium Might, which is currently exclusive to Toedscroll. Mycelium Might would fit Parasect well, since it's not like it's outspeeding anything with a 30 base stat speed, so ensuring that your status moves aren't blocked by an ability is a good bonus for Parasect. Though I would buff the ability a little, maybe make it so that status moves aren't blocked by typing, so that you can poison a steel type or use Spore on a grass type. Also, I decided to buff Parasect's move pool by giving it Shadow Claw and Shadow Sneak for good synergy with its new ghost type, and I also gave it Seed Bomb as a good physical grass type move since it doesn't get any. Sunflora. Moving on to Gen 2, we have a bit of a popular pick for a potential Mega Evolution, even though I said I wouldn't do so, but I'm gonna go with the crowd and say that Sunflora should get a Mega. Sunflora's design is pretty cute, so it's a shame that the Pokemon itself is legitimately horrible. While I would prefer a proper evolution, for this video, let's give it a Mega. Mega Sunflora goes for the very demanded route and gains the fire typing. It also gains the ability Drought, which fits its theme and new typing. Honestly, the ability is kind of backwards, as regular Sunflora has Chlorophyll, which boosts its speed in the sun, but when Mega Sunflora sets up the sun it loses Chlorophyll, meaning that it loses that speed boost. It would make a bit more sense if regular Sunflora had Drought and Mega Sunflora has Chlorophyll, so that it can set up the sun, Mega Evolve, and get the speed boost. But I said I wasn't going to change anything about the original Pokemon except for the move pool, so I'll compensate this by giving Mega Sunflora a plus 70 increase in speed, rounding it out to a nice base 100 speed stat. Yeah, it needed that. The other 30 goes to special attack, making it a pretty awesome 135 in its special attack stat. To take advantage of the fire type, Sunflora gets the moves Weather Ball, Flamethrower, and Fire Blast. The latter two might be a bit too much, but honestly it's not the worst offender in weird move distribution. I think this Mega Sunflora would become a fan favorite. Cacturne. Going 3 for 3 on grass types, we have Mega Cacturne. Cacturne is a super cool design, so it's a shame that it just sucks. But that's what Megas are for. Mega Cacturne keeps the Grass Turk typing. It would get plus 15 for both its attack and special attack, making them both 130. Plus 15 to both special defense and defense, resulting in 75 for both. And finally, plus 40 to its speed, giving it a 95 base speed. 95 is not fast enough for it to compete with major threats, especially in Gen 9, so we'll try and offset that with its new ability, Quick Draw, previously exclusive to Galarian Slowbro. Quick Draw is basically just Quick Claw as an ability, giving the Pokemon a 30% chance to move first in the turn. I imagine Mega Cacturne being a sort of cowboy gunslinger, shooting needles, so this ability fits right in with that. Also, it always bothered me that Cacturne's signature move, Needle Arm, causes a 30% chance to flinch, but it never got to take advantage of that because it's usually too slow to move first. So hopefully the speed buff as well as the new ability can help Cacturne actually take advantage of Needle Arm's flinch chance. Oh, and also Cacturne gets Needle Arm again since it was removed from the game for some reason. Rampardos and Bastiodon. Moving on to Gen 4, we've got our Toon 1 with the fossil Pokemon of Generation 4, Rampardos and Bastiodon. These two Pokemon are designed around the concepts of offense and defense, but they never really got to take full advantage of their supposed strengths. Now, we will try and change them to fully embody the concepts of all-out offense and all-out defense. Let's start with Rampardos. Rampardos keeps its pure rock typing, but gains the Rock Head ability upon Mega Evolving, which I'm shocked he didn't get before. It's really a perfect fit. He also gets access to the moves Flare Blitz, Wild Charge, and Brave Bird, all recoil moves that can take advantage of Rock Head alongside Head Smash. Rampardos can already learn the Fire and Electric type moves, so I'm fine giving it Flare Blitz and Wild Charge. And as for Brave Bird, well, dinosaurs are birds, so I think it's perfectly okay to give it to Rampardos. For its stat increase, let's give it plus 50 in attack and plus 50 in speed. This results in a ludicrous 215 attack stat alongside a 108 speed stat. 108 speed is pretty fast, but it's still slower than some other powerful Pokemon, so it's not like Mega Rampardos can just nuke the opponent unchecked. Also, priority moves still give it trouble, and since its defenses are still weak, it does have to worry about moves like Bullet Punch or Mach Punch. But I'd say that we successfully accomplished our goal of making a Pokemon that represents all-out attack. Now let's go to all-out defense. Bastiodon, despite supposedly being the embodiment of defense, suffers from one of the worst defensive typings, Rock and Steel. When it Mega Evolves, Bastiodon becomes a pure Steel type, which is much stronger defensively. It will also get the ability Solid Rock, which reduces damage from super effective attacks by 25%, further increasing its defensive prowess. I know it's ironic giving it the ability after it loses the Rock type, but maybe the Rock type turned into Solid Rock in a way. As for stat distribution, we'll give it plus 50 in defense, plus 30 in special defense, and plus 20 in attack. Now we have a stat total of 218 physical defense, 168 special defense, and 72 attack. Good luck taking this down. I gave it a little bit more in attack so it can actually hit back a bit harder, but overall with the boost in defense, the changed typing, and new ability, I think Mega Bastiodon embodies defense perfectly. Beartic. It is a shame that Unova, with its wonderful roster of new Pokemon, only got one Mega with Audino. Let's fix that by adding Beartic to the Mega list. I feel like Beartic is the perfect Goldilocks Pokemon to get a Mega. Wait, I didn't mean to make a bear pun, but I guess that worked out. Beartic is a cool design and it's a pretty unique Pokemon overall compared to all the other generations, but it's still overlooked compared to other Unova Pokemon, and it's also just not that great when it comes to battling. It's got a great attack stat of 130, but it's very slow with only 50 speed, and combine that with its ice typing and mediocre defenses, it's likely that your Beartic is going to be turned into a rug before it can get an attack off. Let's fix that. Introducing Mega Beartic. Instantly, Mega Beartic sets itself apart from all other Pokemon by being the first ever Ice Normal type. Now, honestly, while this is not a great typing, arguably worse than pure Ice, I think it fits Beartic, and don't worry, I'll try to make it work. We'll add 20 to its attack, defense, and special defense, giving it 150 attack and respectable bulk of 100 in its defenses. We'll also give it plus 40 in its speed, leaving it with 90, pretty fast but not really that impressive. But let's give it some nice new moves. One of the coolest parts of Beartic for me is the fact that it can learn Aqua Jet, a water type priority move. Let's add some stab alternatives with Quick Attack and Ice Shard. Additionally, let's give it Ice Spinner and Crush Claw for some nice mid-tier stab physical attacks. Finally, let's give it Rapid Spin to clear hazards and boost its speed. Using this move, the boost to that 90 base speed could allow Mega Beartic to quickly outspeed you and start hitting fast and hard. Finally, for its ability, we'll give it Tough Claws, increasing the power of contact moves, further increasing the power output of this absolute beast. Aromatisse. Kalos, the region that introduced Mega Evolution, but none of your Pokemon got any, except for a single mythical. Now, Legends ZA will definitely introduce a bunch of megas for Kalos Pokemon, the most expected being for the starter Pokemon. But here, I'm going to talk about Aromatisse. Aromatisse is one of my favorite Kalos Pokemon, but this is not a popular opinion at all, as many people really hate this thing. I think a lot of people are put off by its pose and its art. It's putting its hand on its hip and it's sticking its leg out, and it basically means that this 3-foot tall bird is trying to be sexy, a fact that many would find uncomfortable. However, I think Aromatisse's design is pretty inspired. It blends a lot of different concepts together nicely. However, I really enjoy its Plague Doctor inspiration. Plague Doctors would often carry fragrances around in their beaks, so using that historical fact and using it for a perfume-based fairy type, and then flipping the typical drab Plague Doctor color scheme on its head to a bright pink is pretty cool. So let's build on this Plague Doctor inspiration with Mega Aromatisse. Mega Aromatisse gains to poison typing, now being a doctor who fights against disease with its fragrances. It also gains the ability Levitate, hovering and removing what would be a new weakness to ground type attacks. It'll gain 40 special attack, boosting it to 139 total, as well as 30 defense and special defense, boosting it to 102 and 119 respectively. We'll also give it access to Toxic, Acid Spray, and Sludge Bomb in order to take advantage of its new poison type. With this new set of tools, alongside its already existing move Trick Room, I think Mega Aromatisse has the potential to be a decent bulky special attacker and support Pokemon. Toucannon. Moving on to Alola, my pick for its Mega representation is none other than the regional bird Toucannon. Toucannon has always had a lot of personality for being a regional bird, typically one of the more bland Pokemon archetypes. Just a toucan would have been interesting enough, but they went above and beyond and made it into a raging toucan, one who's so angry it could literally ignite gases within its body at temperatures of over 200 degrees. So Mega Toucannon will take that fiery energy and literally turn the bird into a fire flying type. Toucannon actually already has access to some decent physical fire type moves, with Flame Charge and Temper Flare, so it can make good use of those. Additionally, we can add Flare Blitz to its move pool as a fire-type version of Brave Bird. For the stat distribution, we'll add 40 to speed, rounding it out to a nice 100, and then 30 to attack, defense, and special defense, giving it 150 attack and 105 in its defenses. Pretty decent, but Mega Toucannon has the possibility to go from decent to good with the new ability I'm giving it, Anger Shell. This is the signature ability of Cloth, and yes, the word shell maybe doesn't make sense here, but I think the anger part of it fits Toucannon perfectly. What Anger Shell does is that whenever the Pokemon's health goes below half due to an enemy attack, it lowers the Pokemon's special defense and defense by one stage, but raises its attack, special attack, and speed by one stage. It's basically the move Shell Smash as an ability. I think a guaranteed increase in speed and attack could make Mega Toucannon a real threat, and the ability also takes advantage of the fact that Fire Flying is not a great defensive typing, so turning that weakness into a strength by making you stronger when your health is lower is a cool workaround. Runerigus. Moving on to Galar, we have what I think is an interesting pick with Mega Runerigus. Runerigus is a weird case since it's the evolution of a regional form, Galarian Yamask, but Runerigus itself is a brand new Pokemon and not a regional form, so I don't think there would be any issues giving it a Mega Evolution. Runerigus has a very unique evolution method, as well as an awesome design, one of my favorites of Gen 8, and it hits that balance of cool yet overlooked and kind of weak that makes it ripe for a Mega. Runerigus actually has pretty decent stats, with a monstrous defense of 145, and decent attack and special defense at 95 and 105 respectively. However, with an abysmal HP of 58 as well as a ground ghost typing that leaves it with many common weaknesses, it isn't the best at being a slow bulky Pokemon. Let's fix this. Introducing Mega Runerigus, a ghost dragon type, with the dragon runes of Runerigus awakening and giving the Pokemon dragon energy. We'll add 30 to its attack and 30 to its defense, and 40 to its special defense, making those stats 125, 175, and 145 respectively. Pretty good. Now let's give it the ability Magic Guard, making it immune to all indirect damage such as weather damage, hazard entries, poison damage, etc. I think this is a bit overpowered, but considering that Mega Runerigus still has poor HP and can't hold an item due to holding the Mega Stone, I think it will be less powerful than something like Magic Guard Clefairy. As for move pool additions, I have two moves in mind. First is Dragon Claw, just to give it nice physical dragon stab. The next move is Shore Up, the ground type signature move of the Palisand line. Shore Up is a recovery move. Under normal circumstances, the move restores half your max HP, but if a sandstorm is up, the move restores up to 2/3 of your max HP. I think Runerigus would be a great fit for this move, but I really like how it can synergize with the ability and typing. To get the most out of this move, Sandstorm would need to be up, but since Runerigus is now Dragon Ghost instead of Ground Ghost, it's no longer immune to Sandstorm. But that's why it gets the ability Magic Guard, so it's not damaged by Sandstorm even after Mega evolving and losing its ground type, and it can still make use of Sandstorm and Shore Up. Tatsugiri. And finally, we have our Gen 9 pick. To be honest, considering that no Gen 8 Pokemon were in Legends Arceus, I don't even think we'll see any Gen 9 Pokemon in Legends ZA. But hey, it's not like it's a set rule, and since Kalos and Paldea presumably border each other, maybe we'll see a connection there. So representing Gen 9 we have Tatsugiri. Now Tatsugiri as a design is meant to synergize with Donzo, with the whole sushi and chef dynamic as well as the commander ability. While I applaud the creativity, there is a part of me that is disappointed because I think that Tatsugiri on its own is a great design. It has the potential to be an awesome first stage to an entire line. In fact, that's what I thought it was when I first saw it, but it turns out that it was just a single stage Pokemon. But since it's unlikely that it'll ever get a regular evolution, the closest we can get is giving it a Mega evolution. So introducing Mega Tatsugiri, which keeps the Water Dragon typing. For its stats, we'll give it plus 30 for its special attack, plus 30 for its special defense, and plus 40 for its speed, giving us totals of 150, 125, and 122 for those stats, making it a especially bulky, speedy special attacker. As for moves, we can give it Fillet Away, the signature move of Veluza, cutting its own HP in exchange for sharply increasing its attack, special attack, and speed. It may be a bit too good, but it definitely fits thematically, and for its ability, we'll keep it simple with Levitate. So those are the 10 Pokemon I would personally like to see get Mega Evolutions in Legends ZA. Do you agree with these picks and how I buffed them? What are Pokemon you think should get Megas? Let us know down below. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.